Greetings and welcome to Shadowstar. Welcome aboard my flagship, the USS Shadowstar, and to Deep Space Nine for this Star Trek Online Starship Visual Review, where we'll be taking a look at a Star Trek Online era version of a Discovery era starship. So, with this being noted, please, fellow members of the Federation, Klingons, members of the Klingon Empire with diplomatic clearance, Romulans and Dominion alike, please get comfortable. The replicators are active should you wish for a beverage, and allow me to introduce you to the Clarke class. Superman, anyone? This visual review will take place in three main stages. First of all, we'll take a look at the customization options, and there's a little bit to discuss there. Secondly, we'll head into the Dysosphere and demo record to take a look at her finer detailing. And then finally, we'll have a look at her possible vanity shield options. Now, with this all being said, I'm Captain Ri'shad. Shall we begin? Now, for those of you who are unaware, when they introduced the Tier 6 Moawski, the Clarke class herself, they also added the Moawski to the light cruiser lineage. This is because before this, in Star Trek Online, if you were a Discovery Federation captain or Discovery era Fed captain, your first ship was the Moawski class, a Tier 1, and it had no higher variant. Whereas if you was a normal Federation officer, that would be the Miranda class, which had the higher Tier 6 variant, Reliant. For a quick breakdown, people wondering, since now some people might wonder, well, which one do I pick based on what we're going on here, I just want to let you know that the Clarke is effectively the shield of the Federation, and you can consider the Reliant the sword of the Federation. However, I do like to just quickly note and add for your attention and maybe knowledge that the Clarke is just as capable as the Reliant at being offensively configured, and can be almost as powerful as the Reliant. And the Reliant can be almost as defensive as the Clarke. So it's just something to keep in mind. Now, no matter which one you have picked in the Tier 6 range, you will have access to all these templates. This now means that with this ship, you have the Centaur, the Miranda, the Shakai, the Moawski, the Clarke, of course, the Reliant, the Saratoga, and the Soyuz. The Soyuz is a fleet variant. You will be required to pick up the Fleet Reliant, or the Fleet Miranda, should I say, in the Tier 6 variation, I think, in order to gain access to this appearance, or to the appearance of the Soyuz. For those wondering, to get the Soyuz appearance, I now need to remember which part I'm changing. It is... oh yeah, struts. There we go. There's the Soyuz for you. I'm not going to lie, that's my favourite strut to add to this ship. Just put that out there right now. So you can guess right now, you've got a lot of customization options. I mean, just look at that. Miranda Beta. You have the Reliant, the Shakai, Soyuz, Moawski. A lot of playing to do with these as well. Give you some nice forms. I'm going to be honest with you guys, just for a lineup where we're going. I said in my visual review of the Oberth's Tier 6 variant that I believe the Grissom should have had a bit more of a square back. This is why, if you look at the back of this ship, that fits really well. If they'd shrunk that down, it wouldn't fill out of place in the Oberth. But on this ship, I like the fact that I know where they've gone from here. They've kept the fort in the Miranda. They kept the faults on the actual Morawski components as well, and they do fit in really well together. So I've noticed there are some bits, like if you want to use these, they've happily made sure there isn't any null textures, but those flat textures are a bit boring for customization. And so if you do wish to use struts such as, just to double check, the Saratoga or the Sawyers, you may want to use a component part that's slightly larger. Other than that, you can get some really good ones out of this anyway. For example, one of my favourite aesthetic appearances that we've seen so far, someone did, I'm now going to replicate quickly. There it is. They came up with that. I thought that was that's incredible. But someone's really one-upped this. Now, anyone a fan of lower decks? Is any fans of lower decks here? Because what I'm now going to attempt to do is give us lower decks. Sort of. Got to remember which pylons it was they used. There it was. And I think they went with that. There you go. Kind of a lower decks feel for you. If you're interested in that kind of thing. Personally speaking, it's not really where I like to go, but I do think that again is a nice thing. So it's a good. What I'm trying to say is it's good to see so many customization options available now. And of course you have the Morawski still. That's for another review. Back to the Clarke though. Seeing all these components and all the paint jobs you can do really is nice. We also have access to the 7 and the Type 7A aesthetics. In this specific situation, I honestly believe the Type 7 looks better than the Type 7A. Might just be me. Type 8 and Type 8B look pretty nice on this ship too, let's be fair. The upgrade is here. Might be missing on the Grissom. Veteran for those that have access to Veteran. Then, oh, it's just reminding me of what I just picked up. We also have the Defiant skin, which looks absolutely gorgeous on this ship. Honestly, I feel like this ship should have actually came naturally with the Defiant skin. Updated variants of the Discovery eras. Now, something I've noticed here is they all seem to be more silver than normal. The metallic patterns have been massively improved, and they just look a whole lot nicer in my opinion. Give you an idea, if I go over to this one, there you go, more Discovery, what you'd expect from a Discovery pattern. That's not what I'd expect from Discovery. Honestly though, they all look good. I do like, Discovery ships grew on me. The nacelle design, it took time, but it grew on me. Now we also have access to fleet variants if you have purchased the fleets, but only if you have purchased the fleets. The Galaxy is another nice looker for this ship. Intrepid, probably the only one I think doesn't belong. However, I will say the nacelles look their best with the Intrepid. NX and NX refit, of course. Sovereign. Oh, okay, I take it back. Sovereign, the nacelles look the best. Oh, someone bought that ship. And Sovereign refit. Definitely the Sovereign hulls look the best on this ship. I'm just going to go with that now. That's my new opinion. Oh yeah, that looks good. She's a pretty ship. Again, with plenty of options. Putting on the Morawski stuff doesn't really fit out of place either. Type 2 it wants to be. Yoink! There we go. Doesn't feel too wrong. Okay, maybe the escape pods don't feel quite right on it. Oh well. Let's go to the correct place now. time to take a look in demo record. So, welcome into demo record, and to have a better look at this ship and its finer detailings. My word, there's a lot going on here. Field of view 20, render scale 2. Let's start off with the bridge, shall we? Which looks like it's designed to actually lower into the main hull structure. Or is that just me? Look at this forward segment. It's got a small lip which is lowered in. It's like a little door, and it is circumferencing it. Built around, and it's around the whole bridge section, as we can see right here. I like the fact it's got a sort of blue trim to it as well. The blue metallic trim that's coming up on some of these ships to me just looks really nice. Okay? It's kind of me. I like this sort of thing. Now, seeing that makes me feel like this whole section that you can see outlined in the blue trim is designed to lower into the ship and then have a door close over it to protect the bridge. If that's a thing, then that is an ingenious workaround to the age-old complaint that the bridge is a screaming bullseye on the ship. I mean, it's very prominent and obvious. And they do say let's have some extra shielding around, but shielding fails. So does hull plating, but hull plating lasts a little bit longer than shielding in most cases. So, the idea of lowering the bridge into the ship in order to protect it, that's a good idea to me. It does mean there's a void space below here, so how they work around that, you guess, is as good as mine. And to come back to it, we can also just get an idea of how many levels are in this. Like, the bridge, if what we're looking at the front section here is windows into the bridge. I know people don't like them, but my opinion is get a workaround to them. Like, to me, it looks like there's a door hatch there that can lower up to cover it. Oh, sorry, raise up to cover it. That's fine if that is there, but then again, you can also say my counter-argument that I've made. Right, first of all, if the bridge lowers, then there's no problem with having a massive screen. Now, on that note, first of all, the bridge is not deck 1, unless there's no real decks above the bridge here at the back. But in this whole bridge section, there's at least 3 decks, based on those windows below. We can also note that this is actually quite a large ship. It looks to me like there is, I mean, the one line of those windows might be a little bit too low for this, but it looks like there is 5 decks working up in just that section of the ship alone. Come down here, and honestly I would say that that's 1 deck there. My brain wants to say there's 1 deck on the trim, on the leading edge of the ship. So if there's only 1 deck there, that would mean that up here it's not exactly 5 decks. It would be more like, a more accurate call would be to say that what we're seeing there for the initial windows is actually 1 deck, and that there is only 3 decks here rather than 5, which again to me would feel more accurate. So which one would you guys think it is? Do you think there is 5 decks being shown off here, or 3 decks? Away from them, and I just want to talk about these grooves right now. So, we're in a period that is post-Nemesis, actually post-Picard, and the ships are getting high-tech and they're going to have new functions and features. Every element of a ship should have function. Form follows function, right? So we've got some random grate grilling here. What would they be? Now, honestly, my mind is working on a couple of levels here. This could either be a platform to dock specific required containers, since this is a mid-range command vessel. Well, it's a light cruiser command vessel, so it has importance to its role there. But I'm looking at this feeding back towards the back of the ship where they've got those what looks like rather large hatch doors. And my brain is now clicking and thinking, hang on, perhaps there's another purpose here going on. There's a lot of technology in this ship that you can see just integrating, glowing away. A second deflector, for example, showing this ship doesn't actually have a secondary deflector. Keeping that to the forefront of mind, I would say, based on their position and where they are, what they're trailed near, and what's coming on down low, which I'm going to talk about more in a second, I want to go with these are the sort of advanced shielding that this ship has. Hear me out. The Reliant has its mega phasers and that extra firepower. Like I said, it was the sword of Starfleet. Perhaps this is how these grills and vents that you're seeing here are what makes this ship the shield of Starfleet. These are an elemented emitter that gives the ship a better defense. To me, that means that not only do they look really good, but that will give them a really good function for why they are so large and stand out on such a small ship. That will also give you a reason why this deflector may have similar grilling to what we're seeing over there. Larger grilling, of course, but similar. It could be part of the deflector system to create a more advanced and more stable deflector shielding. Though its positioning, I do have to say, I like where it is positioned, but I would not recommend doing the Galaxy class trick against the Borg when Locutus was in control with this ship, because I believe it's 10 forward, so to speak. This whole section here, right next to the actual name and identification of the ship, would be vaporized in that situation. I mean, they could always use the lower deflector, but we'll go into that in a second. Yeah. So, onwards and out from that. I did mention it, so we're going to go back to this first of all. We have these huge as hell hatches. Now, I was pondering for a bit, and I've got a few scribbles down on what they could be, but I've finalized myself on one opinion. So we know at the center of this ship here is its hangar. It's got a huge hangar in the center. We've got a run up here which looks like it could have some form of massive hangar door that can open up along with that hangar. So the hangar is pretty much taking up all of that space within the ship. Towards the front, where you might have some kind of sensory suite or technical labs going on here, there's a weapons emitter dead center. Kind of scared of the weapons emitter because it's got a docking hatch going into the bridge at the very next to it there. I'm intrigued to know how they would utilize that docking hatch efficiently, but I am impressed that they thought to put a docking hatch directly to the bridge. It makes sense to me. And the weapons emitter, I guess, could be said to be defending that docking hatch. Sorry, that's something I should have thought of. I mean, you can't dock anything there if you've got a weapons emitter blowing the living hell out of it. But that's where my brain went ticking. It's like, okay, so you've got the massive hangar sat eating up pretty much half of the rear third of the ship. So he's eating up 1/6 of the ship, basically. In essence, not quite that percentage rise, but normally engineering would be found centralized, wouldn't it? But what if this ship has 2 engineering sections? That's where my brain went with it. It just started clicking along. It's like, hang on a second. So that's a possible function. You've got power grids going out from each side. High utilized systems. And 2 major caps that can probably open up. I'd say releases the inner circle. And that's where the warp core ejects out of. And what you're actually seeing in these, basically in that circle, is the engineering itself. So you've got one engineering room that is the If I hold this solid enough, I should be able to give you a nice line out of what I mean. There, I think that works. So this whole area that is now marked out, I believe, are two different engineering rooms. They are actually linked across to each other, and I've got almost direct connection to the hangar as well. I'm sort of imagining them as being very similar to the Galaxy class's engineering. So you've got that big central round room that was almost like a cylinder going up, which has the warp core in. And then you've got that slightly standoff section which has basic engineering functions in. Now I could be way off the mark, but that's how my brain is viewing those. So if we go back from that, we can then go on to why else would I think that's engineering. Impulse array. Now the impulse array on this ship, I think, looks just absolutely marvellous. Two relatively large engines, very form-fitting for the period. I like the fact they've got this very dark, almost black cherry look to that's how I'm going to describe them, black cherry. They feel aggressive and fierce at the same time. And I like the fact that just below them you've got this sort of, I was going to say fighter feel, but you'd expect that, because they look more like intakes, you'd expect them to be at the front. But it does feel like an aggressive exhaust section, like it's venting out a huge amount of heat. These impulse arrays are so powerful, and the actual reactors for the impulse arrays are so damn fierce that they just generate that much heat. You need huge heat exhaust systems to vent that out without overheating the systems. I feel like it adds a lot of life to the ship as well. Honest opinion, the rear of this ship looks the best, and it's mostly for the way the whole rear looks. Just the impulse array, the weapons, we'll get back to that later. Those vents, the way the pylons are connected to those vents, which I think is absolutely stunning. I'm a huge fan of the minor void spacing you've got here going on, which again I think is really beautiful. Looks absolutely stunning for the ship. It gives that elegant, that feel of elegant flow and also functionality to it. I feel like those plates are somewhat protecting the lower body, just in case we end up pulling a crossfield class, if you get what I mean. But it also functions good enough that it feels like it can fit with the other ships. So you could take part of that body, attach it to the Reliant, and it won't feel broken. Kind of want to do that now. You know where I'm going later. I'm going to be seeing what I can do with the Reliant class. Reliant's my favourite looking version. My only issues and gripes to that lower section though comes in back to what I mentioned I'd bring up again. The deflector is, the deflector looks great when you take away that module that's mounted into it, but at the same time it looks a bit too big for the ship without that module. So if you don't use the pylon stations that are currently available on this ship, you end up with, what's the best way to describe it? You either end up with a big mouthy deflector, which does look really nice, but at the same time gives me light vibes to the Chimera class, less of a gull beak. But at the same time, I'm not 100% comfortable with the fact it's mounted the torpedo launchers into the deflector. Because that is actually what those are. Those are the torpedo launchers. And I imagine they're really powerful. I imagine looking at the design of the launcher itself, that's a lot of ammunition that's going to be in there. And it's probably got some high rate of fire. I imagine it's got, I want to say 3, maybe 4 times the firepower of the Sovereign class. Bearing in mind, I imagine the Odyssey is having about twice the firepower when it comes to torpedoes as the Sovereign. on that note, let's step away from that before I actually anger myself a bit too much there. Now, I do like the upper systems that you can see. One of the things I think is quite nice to see is this blue grilling. Now, that blue grilling I've noticed seems to have this rare element of change. As you may notice at the moment, it's actually there's two lighting strips in there. Now, at times you see the two lighting strips relatively easily. Other times you tend to see only one. It is nice because it gives more feel. Oh, there we go. Gives more feel to the ship. Now, it is two on both sides. I will note that now. It is both ways. I'm not sure if they'd be moving up and down. Because I do feel like at times it's a lot easier to see the two on the top than it is on the bottom. This is an animation. I wish I could see it more clearly. But I've not been able to catch it clearly with the ship in motion, unfortunately. All I'm going to say to those is I imagine they're part of the Sentry system or the comm system. That's all I can think they're part of. They could be part of utilising the actual shuttles, because this ship is considered a fighter in some manner. Well, a carrying a platform in some manner. You know what? I'm just going to leave that to you guys. What do you guys think those blue light strips are doing? Because we're going to go on to the final thing I want to talk about, not including the fins and the nacelles, before we go on to the nacelles and then weaponry. But we are essentially going to be now talking about weaponry. So, the console of this ship is a very, very vicious console. Launches a Genesis device which, for all testings and purposes, is very, very powerful. Terrifyingly so. And I am guessing, it's the best guess I can make, I will go with saying that these two, what looks like, to me they look like mega cannons in some manner that just arc down. Remember that dreadnought in The Last Jedi? Star Wars The Last Jedi. Yeah, that dreadnought which I can lower these huge general cannons. That's the feel I get from these, like they lower down and then fire the Genesis device out of them. That's what I imagine for them. I'm probably miles from the mark. I would love to hear what you guys think they are, because, I mean, they could be a lot of things, to be honest, considering their location. But that's the first thing that comes to my mind. Maybe the charging chambers, helping the ship charge up for, yeah, charge up to launch the Genesis device. That'd be funny. I just realised I can get a better look at those torpedo tubes for you. Hey, it's so dark. You need to be a bit lighter. We want to be able to see those tubes nice and clearly. Yeah, but no, I think those are the Genesis device launchers. They are one of my poignant bits that I do like to pick up on, so pretty cool. Now then. Let's talk nacelles before we talk about something really powerful. Now, the nacelles themselves, I think, have a great design element. I do like this following up what you can see on the torpedo tubes here. A little bit of a copper pattern. I like the fact it's followed up to here as well. It's on the nacelles. I do believe on... Whoopsie daisy. I lost myself. Not a good practice. Yep, it is on both sides, and they look very nice, actually. The pattern itself just gives a feel of technology to it that's different. Lets the ship feel a little bit different from its predecessors, so to speak. You have a decent Bassard collector, which I'm not always fond on the huge Bassard shielding, but they've actually given it a good reason for its shape and design. Go nice and close to this. You can see it's a big house plate that then has the shield emitter around it to protect it. And you can see there is two Bassard collectors in there. Nice design to the Bassard collector as well, which is another bit of favoritism on my part for this ship's nacelles. I just think the cloudy look to it looks absolutely amazing. Beyond that, the other thing I like a lot about these nacelles, along with the sleek, agile look of them, is that sleek, agile look is just a nice, just about the right length in my opinion, with a nice bit of warp coil showing. Not a huge amount, which is different. I kind of like that. And it's just the fact that the flow of it feels right. How that flow of the nacelle works with the actual flow of the ship itself. Frankly, I'm really keen on it. Now, weaponry for bounty shields. Weaponry is a big poignant point here. There's a fair bit of it. Now, the Grissom class and the tier 60 berth, they had a lot of what I ended up feeling were omnidirectional rays. We have one here just behind the bridge that I've noted before, and underneath we have one again. So the complete opposite of the berth, which had, I believe it was 4. Funny on that one, because we also have underneath here, speaking, 2 forward phaser strips. 2 forward phaser strips on the actual lower hull. Towards the back, we appear to have a teeny tiny bit of problem with no phaser strips. I do like throwing myself around a bit here, don't I? We go to the upper side. Again, no weapons on the showing here at the back. No phaser strips at the back. But a couple of phaser strips at the front. Only 4 phaser strips? Correction, 5. Have you seen it yet? There is a 5th phaser strip right in the front of the saucer, just here. On these notes, that is 5 phaser strips in total. Doesn't sound like a lot as well, considering you've only got 2 omnidirectional points. So, is it well armed? Oh, yes! You got 2 phaser cannons, left and right, for the front arc to go along with those phaser strips. But the rear is protected by 6 phaser cannons. So if you're chasing this ship, you have 6 phase cannons just firing back at you consistently. And, in case it wasn't entirely obvious, 2 phaser strips that I was secretly not mentioning. Have you seen those yet? I'll give you a hint, it's doing the same thing at the front of the ship. They're hidden within the strip there. It's... what a design! Literally, this ship has awkwardly all its weapons in one place, but done efficiently. This ship's design is so compact yet efficiently done. It's got just a hell of potential weapon-wise. And let's keep this in mind now. That is a total of 7 phaser strips, 8 phase cannons. Oh, and I lost myself again. Yoink. 4 torpedo launchers, not including the Genesis device as well. This ship has some firepower. So much for the shield of Starfleet, huh? I think I'm going to have to share some screenshots of this ship to Trek Yards. See if they'll be willing to do their own breakdown on what they think's going on here. However, with that all said and done, let's get to Vanity Shield, shall we? God, I think the ship looks good. Okay, so let's get to the Vanity Shield, shall we? Taking me long enough to get here. First up in the Ghosts, we have the Alliance, which I mean, it's... I detect a graphical issue. Oops, better. Which is kind of okay on the ship, I will say. Not entirely sure if I'm overly keen on it, but that's my opinion. Just my opinion. How about the Bayou? As the cryptic guys like to say, everyone's favourite probably because it's black. Everyone seems to like the black holes. Let's just admit to this now, shall we? Yeah, the design of the ship, the black causes a little bit too much to become very difficult to see, in my opinion. For once, the Bayou is not my preference for the ship. Bulk vanity. Let's join the cooperative. Now this is okay. It's not, because it's dark, but not too dark, and as a result, the elements still pop. And actually, I quite like that a lot. Gives me more of an extra sci-fi feel to the ship. I do like that a lot, actually. The more I look at this, though, the more I'm wishing I had the Reliant nacelles on the ship. Let's go. Discovery refit. Yes, Discovery refit. Sorry about that. Bloody window. Don't like what the Discovery refit does to those copper plates there. But otherwise, this looks really nice. Gives a really old beaten feel to the ship. Which is a bit weird, all things considered. Honestly, you would have thought that the Discovery Vanity Shield would be less... Well, the refit Vanity Shield would be less of an old feel and more of a new... Looking at that feels new and high-tech. But if you go to the refit... It's like it's the same hull plate, just worn out, like it's been aged badly. It got refitted! The hull should look newer or equally as new. But okay. Okay, actually, honestly, this looks really nice. Ooh, this is my favourite. This is my present favourite. Why does that look so good? Why does the Discovery Vanity Shield often look so good? I'm not really a fan of the sort of colorations that it is, so why it looks so good to me? Like, the silver parts are what would generally be my preference to a whole coloration. I like greys and greys, silvers, and sort of the mid-range between the white and black area. Of course, I do still like black quite a lot. I'm a goth! Alternative. Not really often I'm keen on the sort of more cream or browny coloration, so... Yeah, that's a thing. Speaking of, Emperor's Vanity Shield. Ah, hello. Okay, that, yeah. Immediately, Discovery gets replaced by Emperors. Oh, that just looks vicious. This looks angry now. This looks like it's ready for a fight, like it should do. I appreciate this look. ISS indeed. I think I'm going to stick to this look once I've modified the way the ship finally looks. The Clarke. Now, this will probably be more fitting on the Moralski for age variants and age verification. Why I'm going back the opposite way this time, I don't know. Oh, colours look kind of cool. Impulse Ray looks like it's on fire, and I kind of like that. And just let me put on the soul. Can I actually do it? Oh, I don't have it on me. I should have. Really, just in case I don't. Yeah. Damn. I've had the soul impulse array. Put that on there. Get it on fire. Be nice and good. Okay. Time for the Ferengis. I'm sure there's a certain Ferengi by the name of Pseudo who would be quite happy to see this. Do you know what? It works. Actually, I like that. Don't get me wrong, it's not like right up there for me, but I do like it. I could see myself flying this, if I'm completely honest. Tasty, I like. Herc Vanity Shield. The main... This is weird with me, because I get what the feeling they're going for with. It's like, they're going for a chitin feel, I believe is the correct material name I'm looking for. And it actually kind of works. Also, I get a funny feeling I know what the Riemann prototype vanity Riemann prototype shield is going to look like now. Oh wow, that looks awesome. Oh, okay, I'm going to call it now. I'm going to love the Riemann vanity shield. Sorry, the Riemann shields on this ship. The Riemann advanced prototype shields, I think I'm going to love on this ship. Love it or hate it situation every time, and I'm pretty sure I already know which way I'm going to go. Kelvin, however, I'm probably going to dislike. Take it back. I take it back. That I kind of like, and I don't know why. There's something to the simply... Normally I call the Kelvin the whitewash for a reason. It just washes out the colour and it just... No, in my opinion, it's just a no. Boring. This time, this feels... Well, even the deflect... Yeah, there's something I like. I like this. Wow. What? Oh, I'm smiling right now because I've never been able to do that with the Kelvin. I've never been able to just turn around and say, I like the way the Kelvin looks. Damn it. I don't like that. Medical Vanity Shield. Which is the opposite. I don't like the way that looks. Yeah, not entirely keen. Too much red for me. Way too much red. Platinum Vanity Shield. Ooh. Yeah, I like that. We come to a dead halt. We have come to a dead halt. Oh, yes, I do like that. It would be nice if the material was a little bit darker. The silver, not the black, obviously. But I do still like it. Quite a bit. I am quite keen, actually. Thank you. I'll take that one. Section 31. Okay, place your bets now. What's going to get blacked out? I'm trying to guess now. I want to say the secondary deflector is going to get blacked out. I was wrong. I mean, it's darker. It is darker, but there is still the blue glowing elements in the secondary deflector, so it is there. But with those blue glows around the forward section of the saucer, oh, that just looks... This looks menacing. Terran Empire, you have been replaced. Emperor's Vanity Shield, this is my present favourite. For the black to gunmetal grey. My favourite look at last. Despite the escape pods, but I'm sure there's something you can do about them. Zenkefi Vanity. It's always funny that the Herc tends to look better than the Zenkefi to me. Yet I made more of a deal out of getting the Zenkefi than I did the Herc. I kind of regret that now. Impulse Array is pretty cool. I do like the white that they've got for that. Well, I'll be honest, it suits the ship. It's not incredible, but it does suit the ship. And next up we go Zatvash. Again, not a bad look. I don't know why the Zatvash Impulse Array is red though. I do honestly believe it shouldn't be red. It should follow the typical colorations that you'd see normally from Romulan ship design. And that's just one of my little nigglies with the card, but that's one. Aegis, you're going to get a bit bored with this one, but let's show it anyway. You're going to get very bored with this one. There's almost none of the pinstriping, which is both good and bad, because without any of the pinstriping, hell, it can't even add the texture to the new way they've done the impulse arrays. They can't add the texture that normally gets added to the impulse array. Same for the Basards, same for... Normally the Aegis adds this pinstriping to everything, but then it adds a form of a hexagon pattern around the ship as well. Where it would be on the Basard collectors and the warp coils and the impulse array and the deflector dish. Yeah, because we can totally see that in those deflector dishes. In this video is when it finally happens. Well, I would. There we go. Goodbye! Not worth having anymore. Detailing is too little these days. Assimilated regenerative shields. Can't believe that's finally happened. I finally got rid of a shield. Who thought I would do that to the Breen first? Not the Aegis. Now, the assimilated regenerative shields that we have on right now are actually quite fitting. I like the way they're full about with the circuitry. It's not symmetrical up and down, which is nice as well. But you can see like a heavy amount of forward hull plating has been assimilated, and it's done. So a lot of the time when you put this one on, the assimilated plates or the areas of assimilation don't really feel right. But in this case, it feels perfect, especially on the bridge. Like, of course, the bridge is going to get completely assimilated. It's the easiest way to control the ship. You need the bridge. Next up, oh no, behave yourself. You have them all, so do it. Show the full assimilation package. Full Pa. I was wondering what that was going to do. I'm actually surprised it's in the torpedo tubes, not the deflector itself at the back there. They thought about that, and I'm impressed. They clearly didn't think about the impulse array and the impulse reactor, because that is completely out of its place. Unless those were originally going to be impulse reactors as well, but then they decided to not give them the red glow. And if they are supposed to have the impulse glow down there, that would be amazing. That would be big, and I would have to do another review of this ship just to talk about that. And I'm extremely happy to see that they placed that on the nacelle in the correct orientation, but very disappointed to see that they placed it in a way that it's clipping in weirdly. I mean, it doesn't feel like it belongs there. Should have moved it forwards a little bit, guys. Should have moved it forwards a little bit. Mind you, it wouldn't have clicked onto the front of the facade properly either, would it? So I guess that was a losing situation for this design. I love how long it takes to figure out what I've done sometimes. Bajoran, defense covariant. Hello. Well, this one's getting a hard pass. That looks terrible to me. Didn't notice that blue glow down there before though, so that's new. Yeah, Bajoran gets a pass. As much as I like the Bajoran people, I tend not to like the Bajoran looks. Bajorans, great people, terrible stylists. Next up, hi Daniel. Bye, Daniel. Counter Command Covariant Shield. Apologies if you can hear that flyer. It's going to end up getting executed by me. Can anyone else want to say where? What? Black plating all around. Looking really good. Actually, looking really good. I approve. The majority black plating on this ship looks absolutely great, but the white is also fixated in just the right areas, along with the other plate type. What I'm going to call it, the grey mesh plating. It looks really good. I like that. I'm a fan. Delta Alliance. This could be good. Oh, actually, this should be really good. No, for once, this should be really good. This ship is very minimalistic with its glowing elements. I mean, really minimalistic. Besides the facades. This should be great. I mean, the whole plate starts off great. I do kind of like the copper trim. Deflector looks good. Secondary deflector on top looks absolutely amazing. There's no blacking on it at all. It's... Do you know what? Ordinarily, I would be fuming at the amount of blacking that's on that secondary deflector. However, thanks to the design of this deflector and the way the torpedo module is there, I don't care. It just feels like there's an element of green glow behind it. Like, that's not a deflector at all anymore. It's just got a segment of green glow behind it for some reason. And it's deflectors on top of the ship. And it just looks good. The side striping looks fine. Warp coil looks fine. Warp coils look fine. Mine, teeny tiny bit of black, can ignore that quite easily. Oh, I forgot about the impulse array. Do you know what? One thing can ruin a design, but in this situation, it had to be in the best angle, didn't it? The worst part of the vanity, the worst part of the shields is at this ship's best viewpoint. Right now, this is the best viewpoint, just because you can't see the back. One day, they'll update that and they'll remove that annoyance out. Dyson Regenerative Shields. Well, maybe they won't, because maybe some people like it, I'll be honest. I just don't. Dyson Regenerative looks pretty good. Dyson Regenerative looks really good. But unlike with the Grissom class, it doesn't make the ship feel like it belongs here. But the nacelles definitely look better right now. And I am 100% confident now that those are engineering rooms. With those, the way they're looking right now, I am 100% confident in saying those are the engineering sections of this ship. Next up, oh no. Oh no. Let me place a call out here. I'm gonna say, looks fine at the front of the ship. Generally speaking, front and on the upper side and lower side is gonna look fine. But as you move towards the back of the ship, it's gonna start being texture overlapping textures and broken spotted. Definitely on the nacelles, they're gonna look terrible as well. Okay, this curvature here is good. But I was wrong about the front because it's straight down the middle. It actually looks okay straight down the middle, I'll be honest. There isn't any overlapping, so the actual main body on the upside looks fine. Actually looks fine. I do quite like the way the upper section looks. Nacelles are clipping though, and so I call that one struts as well, they're clipping. I appreciate the eye. I appreciate the eye in the centre. And the full section. Straight down the middle again looks fine. It's the outer edges that, no. I didn't call it. I did not call how I was going to react to that one. Lucari. I didn't show that on the back, did I? Oh well. I'm going to be rude to it just because I think it's a pain in the butt. Lucari looks alright at the moment. We're having some flight issues here, aren't we? Don't mind me, just going to turn this way. We're going to head into a crashing chamber, so be very, very careful. Anyone else getting bugged off by that flight? The impulse array looks really beautiful right now. Really beautiful. Okay. I'm sorry. I know people like the Iconian. Let's take a look properly around the ship on it. Impulse array actually looks pretty good indeed. The weapons look good to me, I will say that. Specifically the torpedo tubes, but the phaser strips and the cannons all look pretty nice in design. I'm keen on them. Mako resilient. Does about what you expect. Mako's like the Aegis, except for it adds a sort of net meshing over the ship instead. Has the same issue though. Now, on the upside, we're kind of getting around the issue by the fact that the net meshing is covering more of the ship and in decent places, so it looks good. It's changed the sort of coloration on those panels that are on the underside of the torpedo tube and on the nacelles, as well as the RCS thrusters, which again looks good. It's a shame you can't see the hexagon patterns on this ship once again. Well, you can kind of see it going on inside the Bazaar Collector if you squint a bit. Please tell me you're not watching on a iPhone or whatever Galaxy right now. That would be terrible. You'd be squinting and hurting you. Yeah, okay then. That was kind of cool. Can we just appreciate that that looks really awesome right now? Thank you. I mean, I'm kind of keen on it. I won't be discarding this one just purely because it actually covers the necessaries. Right, Folian. I knew it would. I should have just said it's going to be absolutely epic. It looks great. Bazaar Collectors are really showing the lighting in there as well right now. Bit awkward that you can't see both of the Bazaar Collectors. Oh, you can kind of. It's just about showing there. I don't know why that was lifting my head up trying to look in. Yeah, the silly things you do. Ooh. Nice hangar bay door. Jagged teeth. Sometimes my hand gets a little bit glitchy when I'm doing this, and I do apologise for that. Deflectors look really great. I love the intense glow from them. Prevailing. Talking competitive shields. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's not. Oh, that's good, but it's not. Okay, so what's put me off? Look at the forward section of the saucer. Deflector looks fine. Weapon grids look fine. The blue glows look fine. Look where the nameplate is, though. What the hell's going on with the texture there? And then either side of it, you've got those other two strips, which for some reason there's got a random break in the texture there as well, which is completely unnecessary. Actually want to see why it's doing that. Oh, because there's two hatch doors there. At least the back looks great, yeah? The back of it looks great, and the nacelles look absolutely gorgeous. Do love the way it looks in the nacelles. Lower size, fine for me. For the majority of it, it's completely fine. It's literally just the front that I think they missed the beat. They should have checked a little bit better and patched that all out. However, it's interesting that it has helped me realise that there are some hatch doors at the front that I didn't realise about. Romulan Advanced Prototype. That's not actually that bad, is it? Looking pretty good. Don't crash into the station. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to go to this point here and just start circling around. Now, it is actually quite a nice look. I do like that. Again, would have been nice if they changed the actual coloration of the impulse reactor, but so the impulse drives, but it's still nice. Temporal defense. I love how I'm having to try and control the ship while we fly around here. Right. Well, do you know what? The eggshell patterns actually look alright on this ship right now. Got a nice little feel to it. Not too much of the oil stricks. I like that. I do like that a lot. Terran Task Force. I am going to end up taking that fly out. On the bench, which is funny for me to say when it comes to Terran. However, I really do like the blue on the nacelles. That will also be on the underside here. That looks really good. I do very much appreciate that look. But yeah, I'm sort of sitting on the bench for this one. Hello there, Klingon bird of prey. I hope you're okay. I actually skipped this for the Grissom class, the Oberth. I was not ever going to insult that ship that I love so much with this one. But here we go, the trash can, the Breen Dielectric. Find something that looks good on it. Let's find one good element. One, maybe two. If we can get two, I'll be happy. Okay, so I've got two. The green glows, nice and crisp. I like the mint coloration to them. We then also have what I was calling the engineering sections. I like the fact that it looks like it's doing a weird cone shape to it at the moment. Makes it feel a little bit more active. Get lost. Goddamn dielectric. Jem'Hadar. We go into battle to reclaim our lives. Looking beautiful. If I didn't know this was a Federation ship, I could have been tricked into thinking this was a Dominion ship. In the right ways. I like the fact that the reflector is green. Finally, now, I say it every single time. The Riemann Advanced Prototype shields are the Marmite shields of STO. People either love them or they hate it. Yeah, they either love the shields or they hate it. And almost amusingly for me, it tends to be a case of there are three types of people. They always love it, they always hate it, or they love it on half the ships and they hate it on the other half. I'm one of those ones that are in the middle there. That I love it on half the ships and hate it on the other halves. There's never just a case, but there's never someone that just like, I kind of like it, I've noticed. I say. This is where I'm going to have people in the comment sections. Now, I kind of like it. Damn it! Damn it! Wow! Oh, that looks really nice to me. Not too much of the hexing patterns. They are looking absolutely beautiful. Still not my favourite though. Still not my favourite. Let's have my favourite on board. Damn! This is a really nice looking ship and all the finer details. So let me cut off here. We'll go for the final say on the ship. My final viewpoint, my final thoughts. Honestly, I think Star Trek Online's team, the ship designers, have done an absolutely brilliant job. The modelers and the people that have gone behind to actually design the ship itself, they've outdone themselves here. It's a stunning looking ship. It really has a nice elegant flow. And I have to say that, quite frankly speaking, I can't think of a way they could have done it better with this specific ship's lineage and where it's come from. So, full credit to them. I will definitely give them 9 out of 10 for the Starship's design, following the lineage. Yeah, I just gave it a higher score than I gave to the Grissom class. Think of that one. You can tell I score it based on how it follows the lineage line. However, whether or not I like the ship's design myself, as far as designs myself goes, it does kind of follow the profile what I normally like, since, as many of you will know, I'm kind of a fan of ships like the Stargazer, the Gargarin, the Stargazer, the Gargarin, the NX class, the Barang class. That's kind of my thing. I like the very sleek, narrow designs, but also the 4 nacelle designs, which is why the Stargazer is kind of the oddball there. It's not a sleek and narrow one, but it is 4 nacelle, and it's quite nice. I like my Galaxy class, I like my Sovereign, I like my Akira, I like the Saber. It's kind of where I go. So you'd expect me to really, really like this design, wouldn't you? But if I'm honest, I like elements of it. I do think it's a really good and thought out design, the Morawski and the Clarke itself, but it's actually on the lower end of the lot I've just listed down rather than the higher end, sitting down there with the Saber. Which I kind of am surprised at myself for, because it is, in element wise, it's kind of similar to a Defiant class. It just has, its nacelles just aren't integrated. So I was expecting myself to think of it like the Defiant and really love it like I love the Defiant class. Defiant is one of my absolute favourites. So to not be there with it, that's kind of surprised myself. I would love to hear, guys, what you think of the ship. Love to see in the comment section. I always read the comments, so please feedback to me what you think of the ship, what you think of the video. If you've got some criticism, please let me know. Be polite. I like constructive criticism. I can't stand insults. And can I just say thank you to all of you for watching to the very end of the video, as it really means a lot to me, as it helps me out within YouTube, and it's helped me towards my dream. If you guys want to help out with that, please consider sharing the video and hitting that like button if you've enjoyed it, because once again, that just gets YouTube to recommend my videos. And on a big thank you note, guys, thank you to the people credited on the screen right now, my patrons, my donors, my Twitch subscribers, because if it wasn't for you guys, well, achieving my dream would be a whole ton harder. It's slowly getting there, we're slowly climbing up, it's doing well enough in my opinion. The next goal point we gotta reach is when I'm earning, you'll know when I reach it, because I'll scream that I'm now earning this a month from YouTube, and as a result of doing that, I will now be going part-time at work, and well, once we reach the cap after that, I go full-time in this. But hey, seriously guys, thank you. If you do wish to join the guys credited on screen, those links are in the description. Please, if you choose to become a patron, keep an eye out for the Patreon email. The email I'll send you via Patreon, 1 to thank you, and 2, depending on what you've chosen, I may be asking you some questions for information. Or, if you just don't want to sign up to anything, you are happy to make a one-time donation, please hit the donation link, and when you do so, there is a text box there. Let me know who I'm thanking, let me know the reason why, because I like to feedback. Everyone that does get credited stays there for a month, so that's one thing to remember. Thank you guys, till next time, I've got to jettison out. Ciao for now. Remember, live long and prosper, my friends.